Good news, it's better than Life of the Party.
It'd have to be from the sound of it.
We ran into Gino last night. He was he wasn't sure what movie he was here to go see, just something that was playing at 9:30, and he wasn't sure if it was going to be Life of the Party or Breaking In. And we were just like, go see Breaking In.
Sight unseen.
Like, sight unseen. Both movies are released this weekend to kind of coincide with Mother's Day. I mean, that's all over the poster for this movie. And
like, Payback is a Mother.
Yeah, that just looks like it's the title of the movie. That's on there way more prominently than Breaking In is, which is in tiny print at the bottom of the theater, and in tinier print under that is Mother's Day. And so if you need to take your mother to see one of these two movies this weekend, I don't know, sure, I guess this one, it's a home invasion movie. It is certainly a home invasion movie. It's fine.
It's exactly what you'd expect it to be. I mean, the acting wasn't great, but it was what you'd expect for a home invasion movie.
It's exactly what is in every single home invasion movie.
So I guess review over, you guys. Like, thanks for watching.
Pretty much. I mean, like, everything you would expect to happen in this kind of movie, it just happens in this one. And the two leads I liked a lot, Gabrielle Union and Billy Burke. Like, they were really good. I mean, they're good in about everything that they're in, so they're good in this movie too. I mean, look, they go to her dad's house, who dies at the beginning of the movie, and he's involved in some illegal...
like some variety of criminal, I guess?
Yeah, he's just, like, involved in some kind of illegal activity. And
lucrative-ass illegal activity from the look of that house.
Oh, yeah, it's got, like a
high-tech security system.
A panic room, because it hits that credenza part of the movie as well.
It's like a sweet, mid-century modern credenza that's showcased prominently in a lot of scenes. Like, man, I want the shit out of that credenza.
Oh yeah, it was a nice place. And he's got millions of dollars stashed in the safe.
But they don't know where the safe is.
Yeah, they spend a lot of the movie looking for where the safe is hidden. So Billy Burke and his guys, they didn't expect Gabrielle Union and her kids to be there, so they take the kids hostage, and Gabrielle Union is stuck outside the house, and she's just trying to get back in, as the title suggests. And you could run through a list of things that just happen in this kind of movie. Like, there's the loose cannon wild card psychopath.
There's I don't know, you guys, we shouldn't kill any kids.
There's that guy, like, I didn't sign up for killing no kids, man. There's that guy. There's
third guy.
Yeah, guy who the lead always ends up shooting at some point in the movie because maybe the hero, like, has a gun to their head or something. There's Billy Burke, who is either evil or rational, depending on what the scene calls for.
He had a bunch of, it's Billy Burke, so he's doing a fair to middling job.
Yeah.
But they keep sticking with lines like, if you find the mom, make sure she's not alive.
Or when he had to say freaking.
Yeah, I laughed.
Yeah, I heard you like laugh at that. Like, oh, they're saying this is PG-13, so they're saving the fuck for later, and they do.
Did they use the fuck? Why did they use the fuck?
Gabrielle Union says, like, get the fuck out of my house, or something like that towards the end of the movie.
Get the fuck out of my house.
It's like the audience applause moment where she drops the F-bomb. I mean, what else? Like, I mean, yeah,
there's like the standoff where she's like, I've got your guy, and he's like, I don't care, bang.
Oh, yeah, that part of the movie as well, and it just simply is one of these movies. It's not worse than your mediocre home invasion movie, and it's not, one of the better ones by any means. Like, I remember not really caring all that much for Panic Room when it came out, but I mean, thinking back on it though, it's like, this movie does so many things that movie did, to the point to where there's also...
Panic Room?
The one with Jodie Foster, where it's Dwight Yoakam and Forrest Whitaker and I forget who else. And they break into her house, and she and her daughter, who's Kristen Stewart, are like trapped in the panic room. But I mean, that movie it's directed by David Fincher, so it's well made as fuck. Like, it has a lot of artistic merit to it. And in watching this movie, I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe Panic Room wasn't all that bad. It had kind of a bullshit ending, but like, other than that, it's like, I can at least look at that and be like, well, I guess it did that fairly well compared to this, which just kind of looks like something you should just be popping up on Netflix.
Yeah, and it was just sort of the back and forth that, you know, they do their best to make tense, but it's like, we almost got away, but oh no, and then we gotta go back, and then we gotta leave, and then we gotta go back, and now one of them's trapped in the house, and then the other one's trapped in the house, and finally they get all the bad guys out, and oh no, they forgot their money.
Yeah, it does kind of keep going. It reaches a point where it seems like it's resolved, because it is resolved, but then Psycho Ass shows back up again.
Yeah, he got run over twice by a car. I feel like
that guy sucked.
he was being dragged along by the movie needing more plot to pad it out.
I guess it's well,
He's
it's
a plot
gotta reach.
zombie. I think that should be a term now.
It's gotta reach exactly 90 minutes. So we need this guy to come back and just be a crazy motherfucker again. He's one of those guys. He's one of those characters that is so sadistic and crazy, where it's like, I don't know why Billy Burke just doesn't shoot this guy within like 15 minutes.
I think he's a massive liability, like right out of the gate.
Yeah. Oh, and it does the thing too where like she gets a call at the beginning of the movie from somebody who says like, oh, I'll be at the place at like 10 o'clock to drop off the files. And it's like, well, this person's gonna die when they show up.
Like, no,
yeah.
run. And
it's Krista Miller.
Shows up and it's like, no, run.
Like, Krista Miller from...
She sounded familiar on the phone. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hey, Drew Carey show.
Yeah, she's in this movie for like 5 seconds. She showed up and I was like, I know she's gonna die because it's one of these movies. So there's no way she's making it past this scene. Krista Miller showed up to just do a few hours of work on this movie, and well, that was her day.
Yeah, I do like how competent the mom was in this movie. Like, some breaking in type movies, it's just like a slow motion Benny Hill chase scene, you know, or it's just, you know, they're not terribly competent, they're just getting away out of sheer luck and plot contrivance. But she's got some good, like, Home Alone style playing.
Thank you! I was thinking that during this movie. I was like, this is kind of Panic Room meets Home Alone. Like, yeah, she's like...
she found some fireworks. What's she gonna do with those? Just string up some paint cans and then
she's shooting at us!
Can walk into them.
She's shooting at us, man. That's not gunfire. Yeah, she's like rigging up shit in the movie and things like that. No, she's really good. I mean, Gabrielle Union could carry a movie like this in her sleep, and Billy Burke could play a role like this in his sleep as well. Like,
they kind of were. I mean, I don't want to say that they were sleepwalking through it, but it was, you know, there wasn't any like, oh yeah, they acted the shit out of that scene type scenes in this. It was just like competent, you know, like, sort of a weary competence.
Yeah, that's exactly what this whole movie is. It's like, well, it's not totally incompetent. The two leads are perfectly serviceable in these roles. But it's the kind of movie and the kind of performances where we've seen the same thing done better in other movies, and Billy Burke as a villain, like, he's a much more memorable villain in, like, Drive Angry, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I was a little worried that this movie would stress me out a lot, because, you know, I do have anxiety about stuff like this, and but I don't really was that worried watching this movie. It's like,
they're gonna be fine.
They'll be fine. It's PG-13.
Yeah.
Like, the one got kind of rapey towards the daughter at the end, and like that was the closest this movie got to like genuine dread. But it was over like that, and
oh yeah,
like he couldn't sell it within the. And I'm glad that he couldn't, because I probably would have enjoyed it less, because I don't like those kind of movies. But that's personal bias. it was just kind of like, I'm gonna get you, and she's like, no, and the mom's like, get away from my daughter, you son of a bitch.
It's not one of those like home invasion movies that's disturbing in any way. Like it's not
like The Strangers.
No, it's not or Funny Games or something like that. Like it's there was nothing even soft R about this movie. I mean, it is a PG-13. It's one that, like, if it's on TV or something, you might get caught up in it. Like, but to go out into a theater to go see, you don't really need to do that. I mean, you don't need to do that at all, unless your other choice is Life of the Party. Then by all means, pay full price to go see this. I enjoyed that the kids weren't annoying. I've seen, like, Dave and I were at that movie last year, Kidnap with Halle Berry, that was like last year's Breaking In. And she had she's trying to rescue her kid throughout the whole movie, and that kid was like super like annoying, like who had like one of those kid characters where
like too precocious.
Like,
where it's basically like a grown-up, except it's a kid. And the little boy butted up against that a little bit. Like, he was, understanding, like, the computer systems, but he kind of sold it as more like a smarter-than-average child.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Not so much that in Kidnap. More so, like, when you can just tell that they're just writing a movie kid, whereas, like, where at the beginning of the movie, Halle Berry says, like, who loves you most of all? And the kid's like, you do! Yay!
He just licks his giant lollipop and spins his beanie propeller and walks away.
That kind of that kind of role. And in this,
I can stand that more than I can the overly precocious child, because that's always like, oh, you just don't know how to write children, do you?
I also thought this movie was going to go into that territory when the kid was looking at the security system.
Yeah, like playing with that drone.
Yeah, I was like, please don't. Please don't. And even if it did, I still would have liked it better than that kid from Wrinkle in Time.
Okay, yeah, that kid is an excellent example of exactly what I'm talking about. Because Charles Wallace, okay, I'm not getting into this again.
No Charles Wallace tangents.
No, not gonna trick me again. God damn it,
son of a bitch. So, no, like, I mean, in the daughter, like, she says when they're on their way to the house, like, the daughter, like, is kind of acting like a little grumpy.
Yeah, she's
like,
got some, like, monster teenager moments, but it's not like. It's not. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there a cartoon back in the day where there was like a teenage? It was a short maybe on Animaniacs where there was a teenage girl who would just all of a sudden turn into a monster and destroy everything.
I don't know that one. I didn't see a lot of Animaniacs.
But yeah, like sometimes teenage girls are played like that, where they're not so much like just like grumpy and hormonal as they're just like legitimate monsters for no reason. And this girl didn't do that.
Yeah, I liked that too. I liked that she just mentioned she was kind of grumpy, and the kid said like, oh well, it's because she was probably going to spend time with her boyfriend. So she was a little grumpy from that, but after that exchange she just kind of moves on from it. Like a much lazier written movie. I mean, not that the writing in this movie isn't totally lazy, but like
pretty lazy.
Like but like if it was worse, like this girl would have been just grumpy and aggravated by that throughout the whole movie, or at least the whole first act, until they get kidnapped.
With her ma, there at the beginning where they were kind of like sniping at each other, and that's when I was worried. They're like, oh, it's gonna be one of those teenager characters. But it was just like her mom asked her to do something, and she's like, oh, is that a request or an order, madam? And I was like, it's both. I'm your mother.
Yeah.
But then the girl like walks out, and she walks back, and she's like, Mom, and then her mom's like, what? And she's like, never mind. And her mom's like, no. we're gonna level set here for a second.
Yeah.
Because that was us missing signals, and I like that. I thought that was it was a real feeling interaction.
Yeah.
In the confines of this movie.
Right. Exactly. I thought the same thing too. In watching that stuff at the beginning, honestly, some of the stuff in the first act before the kidnapping I liked better than when it got to the kidnapping.
I will agree with you there, but simultaneously I'm glad they got right away to the kidnapping.
I am too. I don't want to
fool around with like that bullshit. Something jumps out, but it's just a kidnapping.
Oh yeah, they get to the kidnapping pretty quick, and I also like that about this movie, because like it's it's a movie that you just want to be just in and out with. Like it's 90 minutes long. It's a movie that knows it should just be 90 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like a workhorse of a movie. Like it knows what it wants to do, and it's just gonna do it, and then we're done.
Yeah, that's really how I feel about the movie. Like I can't get upset at this movie.
It wasn't any like dwelling on stupid nonsense they didn't need to. There was no like trying to be artistic with shit they didn't need to. It was just like, and then she gets kidnapped, and then the mom figures out, and then she runs back with the baseball bat.
I mean, it is kind of a conveyor belt movie in that regard. Like, and even like, there's no like thing in it where like she's on the outs with her husband or whatever. Like,
he's just not work late.
Yeah, he shows up towards the end when shit's really gone down.
Yeah, it's like little things like that. You know, I liked how competent she was. I liked that she was always the one in charge of saving everybody. Like, when the husband showed up, he just immediately got the shit kicked out of him, and then, you know, she saved the day again. It wasn't like, oh good, the man has arrived, and then she's strapped into the pool table, and he's like, he's got to plot zombie his way over to save her.
I never thought that was gonna happen in the movie.
I had a momentary concern.
Like, he shows up and just shoots the bad guys.
No, he shows up and then all of a sudden he's the competent one.
Yeah. No, I didn't think he was gonna get killed because they already did that with poor Krista Miller. But I was like, once he showed up, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be on the ground here in a few seconds. It's just one of those movies that's like, it's serviceable as a rental, I guess, or if you don't want to go out to Redbox to find this movie, just pop it up on streaming.
It'll be on Netflix eventually.
Yeah. So that's, the movie just is what it is.
Or like if your mom wants to go see a movie for Mother's Day, take her to this, definitely, as opposed to Life of the Party.
Oh God, yeah. Fuck. What else would even be like? For like Mother's Day type movies,
could rent
I don't
Mother's
know.
Day.
Like, oh God, no!
You could rent The Road Trip, which is the one with Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand.
Oh, that's not Road Trip. Road Trip's the Tom Green one.
You could rent Road Trip.
That by all means.
Yeah, your mom will like it.
Or Euro Trip, which is the superior trip movie. The Guilt Trip.
Yeah. I don't feel like that movie was very complimentary to moms. I feel like you'd want like a good mom movie.
I don't even know if there was any moms in Euro Trip. Oh, you mean the Guilt Trip?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I mean, in terms of what's in theaters right now, I mean,
take her to see Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to see a movie that's really, really good, as opposed to something that's got moms in it, like of the movies that are playing right now that have a lead or a co-lead that's like a mom character, like Blockers is better than Breaking In and way fucking better than Life of the Party. Yeah,
that's a good point. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that one's fine. Yeah, that one wasn't too bad at all. Or if you just want to get out of the theater, yeah, just go see Avengers again. Avengers is really good. Any other final thoughts about this?
Nope.
Movies like this are so goddamn easy to review.
Easy and hard, because it's hard to find stuff to talk about. Just, go see it if you're interested.
Yeah.
It's a Hotel Artemis.
This looks awesome.
So good.
The first time I saw the trailer for that, I thought it was a spin-off of John Wick. Have you seen John Wick?
No, is that the one where they kill his dog?
Oh yeah, with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
There's a hotel in that's called the Hotel Continental that's exactly like the one from this movie, where it's like hitmen go to this hotel and it's like their like safe zone and everything. And
is John Wick like a future movie? Because
no.
this preview is very careful to point out that it is 2028.
Yeah, it's in LA in 2028, and it's a hotel exactly like the one from John Wick, but it does look really awesome.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a lot of fucking fun.
I hope I get that one, because that one looks like a lot of fun. Adrift, I do not hope to get that one.
Adrift, I'm sick of seeing that damn trailer.
I was like, every time that trailer pops up, if I can get away with it, I just take on my phone and I play with it because I know what friggin' happens in the preview already.
Yeah, it's one of those trailers where, like, for the first half of the trailer, I'm like, well, this looks like it might be really suspenseful, and then the second half of the trailer is after the storm, and it's just them, like the title suggests, adrift at sea. And I'm like, I don't know, it looks like the storm sequences will be good, but the rest looks kind of boring.
Yeah, I don't care for those, like, disaster-type movies, and I don't care for, like, claustrophobic, trapped in a place where if worst comes to worst, you won't be able to breathe until you die of not being able to breathe. Like space movies, or like deep at the bottom of the ocean movies, or like trapped
Like
in a
Abyss?
room. Yeah, like super far down in the ground.
Watch Deep Star 6, you'll really like that one a lot.
Oh, okay, I trust you.
It's a slasher movie that far down.
Ruh-bro. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Which looks awesome.
I abbreviated too much. I'm like, Fallout.
There's a Fallout movie?
Mount Fallout. That again looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't Brandon Routh. That was
Oh, that was... You're close.
yeah, that was other Superman.
Henry
Cavill.
Yeah, you didn't recognize the mustache?
No, I've got Brendan Routh in the mind because we rewatched all of Chuck because it's on streaming. It's,
okay.
And he shows up in that. But
Nice.
This is other Superman. I could not tell from the preview if he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy.
Same.
It showed him punching some dudes in suits, and I felt like in that moment we were supposed to be rooting for him, but I didn't know if it was good, like rooting for the good guy or like, yeah, bad guy, show how powerful you are.
Yeah, then like the trailer ends with him shooting at Tom Cruise with that gun out of the helicopter, and there was a funny picture I saw where like it's Tom Cruise getting ready to, it's like a behind the scenes picture. It's like Tom Cruise getting ready to jump out of a plane, which is practically in space by this point, and it just says like, Tom Cruise's stuntman must be the most boring job on the planet because it's Tom Cruise flying the helicopter in these scenes and jumping out from fucking space.
I still really like the shot. Like Tom Cruise is messed up. He's a messed up dude. But like stuff like that, or like when he was just sitting on top of that building in Dubai.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, man, dude, you're just cool though.
Yeah, I fucking love that, dude. Tom Cruise is in this movie. Hell yeah, there's gonna be some danger in that movie.
I was mostly like waiting the preview for like, hey, there's Simon Pegg. Good, he's in this movie.
He's back in it again. Yeah, and him sitting on top of that building, that was just during his downtime when they were shooting that movie.
Like not tied to anything, just up there with like his climbing gloves, like ha.
And that shit rocks back and forth too. Whew. I get nervous just looking at that picture.
Tom Cruise's agent must not be a very boring job. Whoever's in charge of making sure he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Superfly.
Oh, I guess it's a remake.
Is it a remake?
Yeah.
Like from the title and from like the little bit at the beginning where they were talking like, oh, well, you know, Atlanta is basically the Harlem of nowadays.
Yeah.
In that, you know, it's got this sort of like cultural resurgence and like people making a lot of money off whatever they're doing. And the title Superfly seems anachronistic.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's a remake of the 70s movie. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, they spend the little blur.
See, I've never heard of the 70s movie. That's
Oh,
why I
it's
was
great.
confused.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. The 70s. Oh, yeah. The original Superfly is fucking great. And it seems like this is a remake. It looks like it's hitting on a lot of the same. It was hard to nail down what really a lot of the plot was in this trailer because they spend a lot of it just talking about trap music. But
because he started in with the voiceover, and he's like, you know, I started working at 11. I've worked every day since. I started in my house, and then I moved to a church basement, and I got locations all over the place. And they referenced like pimping in the opening introduction. So maybe he is a pimp.
So it could also be a remake of the Mac.
I feel like it'd be hard to pimp out of a church basement, though. So I don't know.
Well, you gotta watch Dolemite again.
You shot my deputy. Do you remember those on Mad TV?
On Son of Dolemite?
Yes.
Those were great.
They're so good. I love this asshole. You done shot my favorite deputy.
Those were spot on parodies of the Dolemite movies.
I want to see if those are on YouTube, man. Those are funny as hell.
Have you seen Dolemite or
Nope,
Dolemite 2?
just Son of Dolemite.
Oh man, the two Dolemite movies are fucking great. They are, man. Again, that parody they did was like someone loves and studied the fuck out of Dolemite to do these.
Just the boom mic's just like down and like tapping on people's faces.
That happens in the first Dolemite.
No.
The boom, I can't remember if it hit anyone in the head, but like that boom mic is in the movie more than the villain is.
Oh, fantastic.
The second one's the one that's got the redneck sheriffs in it, because it opens with Dolemite like sleeping with his wife or something like that. No, you son of a bitch! And he chases him naked outside the house.
Does he do the rhyming couplets in the actual movies like he does in Son of Dolemite?
Oh yeah, that's
how exclusively how he talks.
Well, that's very much like Rudy Ray Moore, who played Dolemite. He was a stand-up, and that was very much like his.
Like
his act, yeah, and so that's in both of the movies as well, that he speaks in rhyme and like tells all these stories through the movies and things like that. They're amazing. They're so fucking good. He was, I'm sure you've probably heard us talk about Disco Godfather, or maybe not.
I feel like I remember hearing you talk about Disco Godfather.
Disco Godfather. Rudy Ray Moore was also Disco Godfather. All classics. Dave's got some of his movies.
I'll have to ask you about it. The Darkest...
Oh, the YA movie.
Yeah, The Darkest Minds.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's another trailer I'm sick of getting.
I feel like I watched the movie already at this point.
Same, because we've sat through all these YA movies before.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like the Fifth Wave.
I'm getting such Fifth Wave vibes from this movie. Man, that looks like something that should be coming out in January. I don't know why it's not.
Oh, it's think that one's August?
Well, I guess August is summer's January.
August is the January of the summertime.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8. I'm still so sick of this preview.
I think it looks like it might be fun.
Yeah, it looks fine. This is the preview I don't like, though. This is the one where it's all like, we're gonna steal diamonds. Ooh, diamonds!
Can't we just go to this event? I think that's a fair question when they ask that.
Yeah, the dresses they're wearing are super expensive. Yeah. Just take those home.
Yeah, exactly. Throw them up on eBay or some shit. I think it looks fun.
Yeah. Mamma Mia! Exclamation point, here we go again.
We were originally going to watch the first movie tonight.
Yeah, but I had a thing yesterday, and so we had to do this instead.
It worked out. I couldn't have handled sitting through Life of the Party at 10 o'clock at night. Like, when we also got the trailer for that for the second one in front of Life of the Party last night. And I leaned over and went like, we're gonna watch this with Sarah, the first one with Sarah sometime this weekend, and Laura just goes, "It's all."
No, because I've tried watching it before, so I know what we're getting into. I made it 5 minutes into it the first attempt, and it's like, blah, no. It's gonna be fucking bad if I'm turning off a musical of ABBA songs.
Same. Yeah, and I haven't seen any of it because I love ABBA. So I'm like, I've heard nothing good about this movie. So I'm like, I don't want to sit through like, and I'm a huge fan of the band. So I'm like, I don't want to get mad. But no, we're gonna watch this shit.
It's important for our credibility.
It is. It very much is.
Night School. No, I'd never gotten this preview before, but that looks really funny.
It did. It looked like a better version of the movie I saw last night.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's not been doing great lately, although he was in Jumanji, and I loved Jumanji.
That was great, yeah.
But it's like him and Tiffany Haddish, and I feel
she's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, because like at the beginning he's proposing to some woman, but I feel like they're trying to set it up like him and Tiffany Haddish are going to end up together by the end of the movie. But the upshot is that he blows up his old work, and he wants to be a stockbroker. And the guy's like, "You haven't graduated high school," and so he's like, "Okay, I'll get my GED," and so he has to go to night school, as led by Tiffany Haddish. And yeah, it looks zany, and funny.
There were a few points with the trailer like made me laugh. The stuff with the guy who's playing the principal.
Yeah, I think it was Taron Killam. I couldn't recognize him with a beard. Yeah, he was like kind of speaking in a in a black dialect, and Kevin Hart's like, "Are you speaking black to me?" And he's like, "I wouldn't know. I don't hear color."
His lines got me in the trailer. Yeah, that looks like it might be fine. The end.
So tune in next week when we will be watching ABBA.
Yeah. And Deadpool 2 comes out next week. That comes out next week. I don't know what else does. Unless it's just one of those weekends where that's the only thing that comes out, which it might be.
I'd love to see Deadpool, but that seems like a Dave movie.
Well, you and I saw the first one, though.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yes!
Yeah, we went to go
Result.
review the first movie. Dave and I will go see whatever shitty movie comes out next week.
I'll let him know when I get home.
See ya.
Bye, guys.